Hello and welcome back to a Kooky corner of YouTube. Still haven't sorted out my microphone, but hopefully everything is good and you can still hear me wittering on about stuff, which I'm about to do. So when we left OCTAVIA, we've got the legs in place and we had the arms all ready to go on, and I've picked out 2 buttons, and we also have the head to place. On this occasion, I think I'm going to do the head first, because when I place the head, then the arms can fit in place. If you position the arms too high on your piece, then you put the head on, it can kind of look like they've got arms sprouting out of the head, which is not a look. So, yeah. So I'm going to position the head on the body. I've got a couple of pins that I use. Hopefully I've got a couple of pins anyway, just to kind of hold it in place. My very bent pins. I think I want it about there, and I'm just going to put it through without trying to stab myself. And through. Maybe if I try and do that that kind of thing. Can hold this in place while I stitch it on. That's about right. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's go back in. Play around with this until you are happy, is what I will say. Play around until you're happy with the placement of the head, so that it's kind of sitting and you've got enough room to stitch it on. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch the top bit here with just kind of like a ladder stitch, and then underneath we'll try and just catch that down. So I've got some strongish thread. This is a pearl thread, so I did look for my really strong thread, but I didn't have any in this particular colourway, and I thought this was probably closer to what I'm looking for. Just got to find a needle now. There we go. And a pair of scissors. Always handy. Get myself a length of thread. And I'm going to put a knot in the end. I think I'm going to start from the middle, actually. I think I'll start from the middle, from the back of the middle. I'll put my pins in now. But there is probably where I want to go. So, saying that, pins have come out, but I know where I'm going now at least. Let me take those pins out, because that's just danger, isn't it? Danger. Okay. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do it as a ladder stitch, or you can do it as an oversew stitch. It doesn't really matter, because it's the back of your doll. An oversew stitch might be good, actually, because you can pull it up and, oh, I'm knocking the camera already. You can pull it up and tighten up your stitching. Now I've kind of done it one way, so I'm going to go back into the center and do it the other way. You can see what I'm doing. Take you down a little further. It's a new camera setup I've got going on here. I'm trying to upgrade my equipment, basically. That's basically the way of it at the moment. Yeah, I've got a new camera stand, and I've got a new microphone that I've earmarked, but I'm going to save up for it because it's a little bit more expensive. So that's going to be the way. And hopefully the sound is not too bad for you without my microphone. So I'm making sure I'm not going off the edge. I'm going back again just to be sure. Just to be sure it's all caught up on the back here. How are you all anyway? I have got quite a horse, well, it's not horses. I've been singing 2 songs. I've been away for the weekend. I went to a Northern Soul weekender, which was absolutely fabulous, and did a lot of dancing, did a lot of singing, and when you're talking to people above a sound level, it does really doesn't do good things for your vocal cords, to be sure. I did wear earplugs because I am of an age now where I just can't abide the really loud noises. I don't know, it could just be me, but there were some people standing right next to the speakers, and I'm thinking, how do they do that? How can you do that? It's just not good. So I've come to the front here, and I'm kind of just trying to position this head so that it's tacked down and it's not going to keep flopping around, and I'm just going to try and wingly dingle it to that's a technical term, by the way. A bit of wingly dingling just to get this head to stay in position. And I think we're just about there. Yeah, that'll do nicely. So I'm going to take that thread back through to the back, like so, and fasten it off. So what I do is I do a knot in the back, and then I lose the thread in the body, trim it off there. So that means we've got a head. Yeah, so our lovely OCTAVIA now has a head, and she's armless though. She's armless. Oh dear, I do amuse myself sometimes. Okay, so because this is not a big doll body, I don't need one of my huge doll needles in order to position these, but I might just try these pins again, just to hold the arms in place to give me an idea of where they're going to be. So where's my other pin? Bent old pin. I'm kind of thinking that's about right. Let me have a look at my other girl. Yeah, that's about right. You put them where you want them to fit, basically. I kind of like that. Maybe just up a tad, maybe just about there, I would say. And the same with that one. Yeah, that's right. So I've got my pins holding it together. Now I'm going to use the same kind of thread. Get myself a bit more though, because I want this to go through the body a couple of times. You can wax this if you want it, you know, if you want to put some wax on your thread, or use some thread heaven or something. I've got mine on my other desk. This is the problem with having a couple of desks. Whatever I need is always on the other one. It's not a bad problem to have, but you know, it's just I need duplicates of things. Right, I'm gonna lose that knot underneath there. Put my first button on. And take that out. And thread. Make sure that's going in the right place. And coming out where that needle is. There, that'll do nicely. That'll do nicely. If you find you can't grab hold of your needle, grab a pair of pliers and just pull it through with, but it goes through easily enough. It's not hard to pull through. Okay, so we've got another button going on this side, and I'm gonna, hope you can see. I'm kind of juggling it. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's not rocket science. This will give you some movement in the arms. I've got to find the hole now this side. Come on, needle. Don't play games. There it is. It's a little bit of a fiddle, but when you get there, it's all good. And my needle's just... How did I manage to do that? I didn't actually go through my... Well, never mind. It's just another extra bit that's going to come through. I've got a thread there and no button on it. Come on. Now the button is supposed to just keep your joint from, or keep your thread. No, that's not going to go. Don't be afraid to take it apart if it's not working. At this stage, everything's fixable. So I'm going to try and fix it. Right, okay, we're cooking with gas now. And I'm just going to go through a few times just to make sure that this is all hunky-dory, fastened down. Go back in for one last time, hopefully. As I say, this is the fiddliest part, I would say. The arm attachments. You could just literally sew them on if you wanted to, but I quite like the button joint and it just gives an extra something. It's just a bit more fiddly. There we go. Okay, I'm going to call that a day. So I'm going to take this back through here, she said, and I'm going to fasten it off. So I'm pulling it tight so that the stitches hold nicely, and I'm going to pull my needle through there like so. Yeah, that's all hanging nicely. And then I'm going to lose this thread again inside the body. I've done a knot, so it should hold perfectly nicely. And there she is. Let's take you back out again. Whoops, taking you in again. There she is. She has got her arms that will move up and down, so it gives you a bit of movement, and her legs that have got that lovely little bend in them now. As I say, the bead ones work as well, but if you haven't got a bead that's thick enough around the middle to slot a load of fabric through, then the stitching method where the knee is works perfectly well. Okay, lady, she's done. Now all we need to do is to give her some clothing. I suggest, what I did with this one is, it was just a rectangle of fabric that I just hemmed on the bottom, so it's double turned under at the bottom, and then hemmed and top stitched around the bottom to keep it all in place. And I did a little channel at the top that I could thread some elastic through, and then just gathered it all together. And that was it for completing her. And that a little jumper pattern that I got from I think it was Pinterest. I'm sure it was a Pinterest pattern that I got. I'll try and find it and then I'll link it in the description box if I can find it. It's one of those things, I was trying to get things that fit this size of a doll, and this was just absolutely perfect. So it's kind of trial and error. You could make something out of a granny square even. You could make a granny square top, like a triangle top with a little halter neck. You could make a little blouse. I'm going to have a look and see what I can do with this one and see how I can put together some outfit for her. And I'll be back in a second to see what I've come up with. Okay, so I managed to find where I got the pattern for the little jumper from, which is this one. It's a little knitted jumper, and that was from this book, and this is called Laurence Bonnet, The Wonderful World of Rose Minuscule. And she also gives patterns for some of the dolls that she's put together here. But inside as well, there are clothing patterns. So I think that's a really good book to look at, or try and get from your library if you can, to get some patterns from. I am not a patternist. I can wing things, and I can make basic patterns for dolls, etc., which I've done before. I've done lots of like doll patterns for myself. But for clothing wise, I'm a learner. So I'm learning how to do my own from lovely people like the person who wrote this book. Let's see, there she is, Laurence Bonnet. And also Ginger Melon Embroidered Animals, which is I don't know, it's a fairly new book. I was going to say brand new, but it's quite a new book. I had this on Kindle for a while, and then actually just bought it secondhand from World of Books. I'm trying to remember when it was booked. 2019, so it's not brand new, but it's newish. And inside here, I do believe there are patterns for clothing that you could. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to have a little sort through and find some clothing, and I will be making something for her. But for the basic pattern, as I said, it is in my Facebook group. The link is going to be down below. You can go there and join, and the pattern for her is in the files section. So you're looking for OCTAVIA Owl. And I know, I'm trying to think, Liz has made one called Olivia, and Olivia is gorgeous. She's already put it together, and there's pictures of her in the Facebook group as well. So well done, Liz. You did a grand job with that one. She's beautiful. So I think OCTAVIA will soon have lots of friends and cousins. I'm hoping that she's going to have a lot of friends and cousins to get along with. Anyway, that's enough from me. Enough waffle. I hope you have enjoyed having a look at putting this together. I would have put it all in one video, except that time ran away with me. But I hope you don't mind that it's split up into two. And these two books I will link down below, the titles in the description box, and have a look on World of Books if that's something that you can do, or in your local library. That's a good place to go to check out these books just for a while and get some ideas for your doll. Anyway, that's enough from me. Have a great rest of your day, and I will be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.